Show with your host, Frank the Bank Cotto, president of Lincoln Lending Group and 813 Mortgage for 20 years right here in Tampa Bay. Joined by his incredible co-host, Rosa Vahidi and Senia Akishina, top producing real estate agents with Mihara and Associates. These three bring nearly 5 decades of experience in the local real estate market. If you're looking for real estate or business advice, no matter what your experience level, the Business Happy Hour team has been there for you for almost a decade right here on News Radio WFLA. Now sit back, relax, and get ready for some serious real estate and business talk with 3 of Tampa Bay's top experts. Here's Frank the Bank.
Hey, Tampa Bay, welcome to the Business Happy Hour, your number one show for all things business and entrepreneurial. I'm Frank the Bank Cotto, owner of Lincoln Lending Group and 813mortgage.com. Don't forget, Ryan Gorman and I are pushing that reverse mortgage product. You cannot lose your house in the reverse mortgage. It's a great product, and you want to learn more, it's reverseguru.com. In studio with my amazing co-host, we have Senia Akishina. How you doing?
Hello. Good to be here, as always.
God, you're more excited than me today.
Yes, I wonder why. You know why.
I know why. We got a big secret here, and we also have Rosa Vahidi. How you doing, Rosa?
Good. Hey, Tampa Bay.
Yeah. And guys, don't forget, we are live on Instagram every single week, and maybe we'll put it on the old Facebook. Maybe you can go to MySpace and find it. Who knows? But we do want you to check us out live on Instagram every week. We will always get started no later than 12:30. I can guarantee you from 12:30 to 1, we're going to be live. Maybe it'll be 12:15. Maybe it'll be 12:30, but I will guarantee you guys 45 minutes of our time live, actually up to an hour right here on Instagram, because you guys on Instagram get to hear everything that happens during our breaks, which sometimes we need to remember.
Behind the scenes.
Behind the scenes. If you are looking for the best real estate company in Tampa, look no further, Mihara and Associates, but we have 2 of their amazing representatives with Senia and Rosa. And ladies, we have a website and a phone number that they can ask questions, which it would be
TheRealDealTampa.com.
I love it. And what about that phone number? I heard it's a real easy one.
813-755-REAL.
That's a real phone number right there. 755-REAL. Check them out, guys. That's all you got to do. And of course, if you do end up contacting Frank the Bank, we're going to get you in touch with the ladies. Speaking of why Senia is so excited today, Senia is one of 2 reasons. Either one, you have the best stats that we've ever seen in the history of stats today, or we've invited a very special guest. Which one is it?
I think it's the number 2. Maybe next show could be the other reason. We'll see. But we've got our favorite Ray Mihara here with us for a second time, because we promised Frank that Ray would be back when Frank is here. So Frank can do the official interview and ask Ray all about the real estate market and...
Oh, it works. Look at this. I was trying to get my camera to actually fluctuate back and forth so I can put Ray on the screen. Now I just got to figure out how the little thing works instead of me doing like this. But we're going to interview Ray Mihara. Welcome to the show, Ray.
Hey, good afternoon, and thank you for having me come back. I was a little worried after the last time.
You were
But
worried.
you made it.
What were you worried about, Ray? What were you worried about? Come on. You had nothing to worry about. It was a great show.
No, we had a great time, and we talked a little bit about loans and how well you have done in your career, and how important it is to pick the right lender. And you know what? It was a lot of fun for me for a first time. And again, thank you for having me come back.
Yeah. Wait, you're telling me that was your first time on radio?
Yeah, that was the first time.
Oh my God, I would have.
You missed the debut.
I know. I'm
Sorry.
here for the what is this? The encore. I'm here for the encore. But I can't believe that was Ray Mihara's first time on radio. I'm honored. Right, that's awesome. But of course, I've been having so much fun with the 2 of you as the co-host here, almost for an entire year. It's been a long time. I mean, we started in January. I think, together, and this is great.
Years flying by.
So we're going to find out today on the show. Since I wasn't here for the initial Ray interview, I am going to ask him a couple questions that you might have heard in the other interview, because I'd like our listeners to really get a feel for who Ray is, because I'll be honest, Ray's just not a realtor. All right, he comes from an amazing background. He comes from a hockey background, and Tampa is a hockey town. Matter of fact, my son is now going to my alma mater, Jesuit High School, and it is an amazing stat. Ray, you probably, I mean, you will understand what a big deal this is. 19 incoming freshmen all played hockey. Like most schools, a lot of schools in Tampa can't even put together a team.
Oh yeah,
much less.
Back in the day, I coached Countryside High School. and we had a tough time pulling enough players to field a team.
Right.
So we were looking at other high schools to bring those students in just to put a team on the ice. But you know what? You win a few Stanley Cups. You got Phil Esposito's name all over Tampa.
Yep.
And just a great ownership group with Vinnick. And you know what? It's just everybody wants to be a part of the sport, and it's a great sport.
Well, you know it's working, and you know that we are an actual hockey town when the little kids play. Because when I grew up, I'll be honest, I don't think I knew one friend who played ice hockey. I cannot even think of one. Ironically, I learned to skate on the same Oldsmar ice rink that my son learned to skate on, which I don't know if that's saying much about our ice rinks around here. That is something we could develop a little better, I think. But didn't you have something to do with the Lightning back in the day, right? Weren't you helping found them or something?
Yeah, so back in the day, I worked for the Buffalo Sabres, and my boss received a call, and there was an opportunity to come to Tampa, so I was involved with the startup of the Lightning. And it was really cool because when I walked in my first day at the office, like, we didn't have phones, we had nothing. We were just told to go out and just talk up Tampa Bay Lightning. We have hockey in Tampa. We didn't have really an arena. We didn't really know for sure where we were going to play. We didn't have players. We didn't have the coach wasn't announced. So when you call it startup.
Wait, we had a team without players or coaches or an arena?
It's crazy. The way it starts, we had just been, Phil was awarded the team.
Right.
And the next step is, okay, now you have to figure out where you're going to play. The NHL knew that there was a couple sites that were in play, but.
Didn't we start in the Sundome? Where did we start?
The fairgrounds.
The fairgrounds. That's right. I forgot about that. And that was like the first year or two, wasn't it?
That was year one. But there was scandal. I mean, listen, you can't have a radio show without scandal.
Yeah.
The scandal was there was a group called the Arena Group that was supposed to build this amazing arena, and we saw these diagrams to find out these guys had never built an arena before, never built a facility.
What?
They had taken money, deposits. Right? Those people were basically had lost their deposits on season tickets. And so we were scrambling to figure this out. We honored the deposits. So if someone could show the proof that they had a deposit down with the team, we honored that. We started to sell tickets once we figured out the fairgrounds was going to be the place of the Tampa Bay Lightning for year one. And you got to remember, all the other arenas throughout the NHL were typically 17 to 18, 19,000 square seats.
Right.
And here we were at 10,400. Right. So it's like half the size.
Yeah.
So the saying that we were using when we were selling hockey in Tampa was, there is no bad seat.
Easier to fill too. So.
Yeah, and they're like, every game's a sellout.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it was, and we had great support from USF. Again, talking about the youth, and here you are, a lot of young students at USF, and it was fantastic. Great support, both from the corporate levels, the kids wanting to go out there and see what hockey was all about, but even the college students gave us a lot of support and helped us that year one.
Now, I'm a little naive to this. I used to go to the Bandits and all that back in the day, and the AFL, and I've been going to the Bucks since the Sombrero. So I'm not old enough to see the inaugural season or anything. But is it similar in hockey as it is in football? Like, you're an expansion team, and now you get to draft players and choose them, or did you guys have to field a team based on college kids and kids who wanted to play hockey? Like, how did that go?
Sure. No, the way the rules work with expansion is each NHL team has to expose certain key players, and they get to protect their top players.
Got it.
So we could actually take a player from each one of the NHL teams, not in the top 3 or 4.
Okay.
When you get to players like 5, 6, 7, 8, we had a chance to take those players.
Those are good players, though.
Yeah, so you get some good quality players, and then we received a top pick in the draft.
Right.
Roman Hamrlik was our number 1 pick.
Okay, there you go.
And again, another funny little story. So Phil Esposito gives me the Tampa Bay Lightning credit card, and he said, Ray, here, I want you to do me a favor, take Roman Hamrlik out. He says, but you can't get this guy hurt. He's a multi-million-dollar player for us. We just drafted him. I want him to show you Tampa. Just don't get him hurt. So no jet skis, no water skiing, nothing.
No parasailing, no skydiving.
Yeah. So I had a chance. I shook his hand, and then I said, Phil, you forgot to tell me something. What? I said, he doesn't speak English.
Oh no.
So we did. We took him out for dinner. We had some fun with him. Nice guy, really great guy, and he's still involved to a certain degree with the Lightning.
Is he French, or what is he?
No, Russian.
Russian? I don't know.
Come on, Frank.
I made that up. Well, I'm over here thinking Canadian, French. I don't know. See, I'd have a little fun on the show.
Yeah, so it was a great time. We got a chance to play golf with him a couple of days. He did not get hurt, so I didn't want to let Phil down. We brought him back in one piece, and really, the rest is history. Stanley Cups later, great following, great sport, and just taking off here.
Yeah, and now 19 kids coming in as a freshman year playing hockey. I've never heard of such a thing.
Yeah, unbelievable.
It is out. Now you knew Phil from back in the day as well, right? Didn't you guys play together? Long time ago or something?
Well, not by choice. What happened was when I walked in the door, Phil said, "Listen, you're going to have to play. We have a men's league team. Hopefully you brought your stuff." And I did, and he says, we got to get you on the ice, and you better be able to play. So I did not want to let Phil down, so I held my own out there and played on a team with a bunch of ex-NHL players. There was Danny Gare, there was Wayne Cashman, who Phil and Wayne very, very tight all through their college career. Wayne was actually the protector. So when Phil would be on the ice, the other teams would say, listen, let's take this guy off and let's fight with him. Right?
Yeah.
So as soon as that happened, Wayne would step in and that's it.
Yeah.
Drop the gloves. We're going.
Yeah, bruise them. Hey,
going.
on that note, speaking of protecting, we're going to protect our commercial break right now, and we're going to see you guys in just a minute on the Business Happy Hour with Mihara and Associates and Ray Mihara. Stay tuned for more fun stories. All right, Instagram, you get to enjoy this commercial break real quick while I ask Ray where we're going for the next segment here. That was awesome. Doing perfect. Get into the mic a little bit closer. Your voice will reflect better in the radio. You can be as close as you want, especially with the shield. I think we come back into the second segment. We'll pick up more on the Lightning stuff, and then I think the question is, and maybe one of you ladies wants to do it or whatever, is, well, how did you go from that to real estate, right? And just go right in, or we can stat first. What do you think? Let's do some. Well, no. Well, why don't we get in?
I say go ahead and do that, and then when I do the stats, because then it would be nice to get Ray's perspective and kind of the last month or so.
Yeah. So finish off. So finish off hockey, and then ask him how did you get into real estate, and then once we're talking about real estate, we'll be like, hey, great time to hit the stats. Instagram, you're getting to hear the behind the scenes of a real radio show. Stay tuned. We're ready to fire. Are you good with everything? All right. Ready, James? Thank you.
Now we're back with some serious real estate and business talk with three of Tampa Bay's top experts. Your host of the Business Happy Hour, Frank the Bank Cotto, Rosa Vahidi, and Senia Akishna.
All right, Tampa Bay. Welcome back to the Business Happy Hour. I'm drooling all over myself here as I drink my drink this morning. Welcome to the Business Happy Hour, your number one show for all things business and entrepreneurial. In studio with my favorite co-host from Mihara and Associates, Rosa Vahidi and Senia Akishna. How you doing, ladies?
Wonderful.
Great. We're excited to hear more about Ray's experience in real estate and his career. And
yes.
How he got into real estate from hockey, I mean.
Yeah, that's what we've been doing. If you guys missed the first part of the show, this is Ray Mihara. He is the founder and owner of Mihara and Associates, and a lot of people don't know this guy has a hockey background, and he was charged with taking the first Lightning credit card. I'm making the story up, but I bet it sounds good. The first ever Lightning credit card and taking out the number one recruit for the Lightning who didn't speak English. He didn't speak French. We figured that out. He spoke Russian. So if Senia was there, she probably would have gotten the job.
That's what I was thinking.
I mean, really, I make her speak Russian on here every once in a while. So next time we're going to do the stats in Russian.
Interesting.
Yes. Actually, hold on, Rosa. Let's not forget this. If the stats are ever bad, She's doing them in Russian.
Russian.
That's what I'm going to do. Duh, because I bet you can make it sound really good, right? Actually, everything Russian is.
Actually, no, it's going to sound very like
I know, it's
intense,
scary.
so.
It's like, she's like, I love you, honey. It's like, rah, 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 rah. Whoa, there it goes. We had an explosion. See, Berlander always reads my mind. So, like we were saying before, we were interviewing Ray, finding out, Ray kind of left off. We were finding out, how you knew Phil Esposito, because you guys knew each other from a long, long time ago. And that's when he tapped you and said, hey, you want to move down to sunny Florida and make an ice rink and build a team? And a lot of people don't know we played in the fairgrounds. So where do we go from the fairgrounds?
So after the first year, we knew, and we had a lot of pressure from the NHL.
Right.
They wanted us in a big arena. They wanted us 17, 18, 19,000 seats. So we identified.
Just get one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they identified the dome.
Right.
And they said, okay, can we turn this into a NHL arena? And it really it got everybody's attention because we went from 17, 18,000 seats to potentially 27, 28,000,
right,
which is unheard of.
Yeah.
So when that happened, we said, oh my gosh, we've landed on something. This is really going to be cool because we had the ability to introduce hockey to folks who could afford it, and we offered the $99 season ticket on the top tier.
Whoa.
Right? So we did a number of things. Number one, we brought more fans to the game, introduced the game.
Yeah.
We made it affordable. There was income from concessions, hot dogs and Cokes and beers.
Right.
And then we introduced this, what we call Fanland, which was this whole big area of all these different games. Like you could throw a football, you can kick a football, you can throw a baseball, you can, use a hockey stick for the first time if you've never played or picked up a hockey stick before. So we had Fanland, which brought a lot of the kids because we wanted to, bring in the entertainment dollar.
Yep.
So it was a huge success. So fast track towards the end of the year, we made the playoffs. We're playing Philadelphia, and we set the NHL attendance record. It was like 27,800 attendees, and it was absolutely awesome. I mean, the energy in that arena, like I remember it like it was yesterday.
Wow.
And it was fantastic, and really that put us on the map. And this is important to know that it was that success that we had that allowed for the NHL to make the decision on the Florida Panthers, and the Florida Panthers were then awarded their team because of the success we had in Tampa.
Wow. I mean, I'm sure everybody was like thinking, what are you doing with hockey in Florida? It had to be because no kids don't grow up here. Like you grew up north, right? So you played hockey.
We did. And you know what, from a marketing standpoint, when you think about what the fans want, like they don't know hockey, right? So they don't know the skill level.
No.
So what they really loved was the fighting.
The fighting.
Yeah.
I knew you were going to say that.
Yeah. So, of course, Phil, mastermind, he knows that not only do you want to have a competitive team and win, but, there's marketing dollars that we want to bring into the team and make the team profitable. So he was bringing in and making some trades for some really tough dudes.
Oh, my gosh.
These guys were
Bruisers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's just say that little bloodshed on the ice, it is hockey, and we had a great following, but so now we had the kids and we had the people who like to see the fights.
Do you think they'll ever get rid of fighting in hockey?
I don't think you can because it's the alternative to using a stick. Right?
Oh,
they would much rather
good point.
Put the stick down
Yeah.
and use the fist. You can do a lot of damage with a stick.
Yeah.
And I think, but listen.
He's so serious.
Yeah, serious, Rosa. I'm over here
is
like,
real, yeah.
this is a great interview right here. Why do we punch in hockey?
And then the Canadian folks, listen, that this was their sport.
Right.
And you can't take fighting away from those Canadian folks. They love it. And I got to be honest, I like it too.
Yes. Listen, that you've never seen a crowd get up when you have a brawl like that, when you have a brawl of 5-on-5 down there on the ice and guys are going nuts. And I've never personally figured out, and of course we're doing the whole half show on hockey because it's fun, but I've never figured out, like, what's the rule? Like, when is the fight too far? What is the line? Like, at what point do the refs have to step in? Is there a rule?
There really isn't a rule. So the refs are pretty smart. They know that if the fists are flying, I don't want to step in between these two guys, right? So there's a little intelligence behind that.
Yeah.
However, when you see the guys holding on and they look pretty tired, then they know, okay, it's our time to jump in. But and this is amazing, and it's like an unwritten rule with hockey players, especially in the NHL, is if a player is down or you feel that you've already won, you don't hit them again.
Okay.
No, that rule, it wasn't, they didn't really play by that rule so much in the 70s,
Right.
They wanted to take you out. But as it got into the 80s, you kind of, you felt like there was this unwritten rule. And when the guy went down and you could hit him one more time, like they didn't do it.
Okay.
And then here, this is for hockey players. You have to watch this. If you're watching a game and you see two guys fight, at the end of the fight, if you watch, they're going to say, hey, good fight, good job.
Really?
Yes. Yep. You do. You pay the compliment to the other guy.
Yeah.
And again, that's what makes this sport so unique. I mean, here is you want to beat each other up, but at the same time, you pat each other on the back. Hey, good job out there.
So I guess good. We got hockey etiquette 101.
Yeah.
We really did. And my son plays hockey, and they're not allowed to do anything like that. But I think, does it start in college? Is that when? I know I got 30 seconds, but is that when fighting starts? Is it college, or that you can't fight until the NHL?
Listen, I don't think this is a good thing, but you do see fighting starting at like 8, 9, 10
Oh yeah.
year olds.
Oh no, I've seen it. Yeah.
But when you start to get into the probably the college and the juniors,
Yeah.
that's when it really
That's when it's a
happens.
thing.
But yeah, I mean, we don't want to.
Yeah, because they
encourage
toss
that.
you if you do it now. You know what ends up happening? Then the parents want to go fight in the parking lot. Bad. We got to take a break on that note. Parents, don't fight in the parking lot. Hockey is the best sport ever. Ray Mihara will be back in just a minute, and I promise we'll talk real estate on the Business Happy Hour. All right, good segment. That was awesome. The heck yeah, that was good. So now we'll eventually merge into real estate and start talking. So I'll reintroduce Rosa, sending a takeover. Let's ask him. All right, guys, that was a great hockey. Is there anything you want to finish on hockey, or?
I didn't know the depth of that story.
Dude, that's awesome. Well, I got to hear a lot of it, like a couple of our lunches, and I'm like, all right, this is what I'm asking Ray about, because that's I think it's great radio. Everybody needs to hear that.
There's so much that is not meant for radio.
Yeah.
Sometime over lunch.
Yeah, tell the other side of it. Yep. So I'll bring it up and we're talking about fighting. Now let's talk about another industry we fight in, real estate. Yes. Ooh, that's a good one, Instagram. Did you hear that? Like and share. Come on, friends. Like and share. We're ready whenever you are, James.
Welcome to the Business Happy Hour radio show with your host, Frank the Bank Cotto, president of Lincoln Lending Group and 813 Mortgage for 20 years right here in Tampa Bay. Joined by his incredible co-host, Rosa Vahidi and Senia Akishina, top producing real estate agents with Mihara and Associates. These three bring nearly 5 decades of experience in the local real estate market. If you're looking for real estate or business advice, no matter what your experience level, the Business Happy Hour team has been there for you for almost a decade right here on News Radio WFLA. Now sit back, relax, and get ready for some serious real estate and business talk with 3 of Tampa Bay's top experts. Here's Frank the Bank.
Hey, Tampa Bay, welcome back to the Business Happy Hour, your number one show for all things business and entrepreneurial. We are having a lot of fun in here with Ray Mihara, the owner, founder, CEO, president, leader, Mihara and Associates. I love it. We've been talking about hockey. How Ray was involved in the the starting of the Tampa Bay Lightning, friends with Mr. Esposito. Now we know how big hockey is, not just in Tampa, but in the state of Florida, in the South. I didn't realize that the Lightning franchise actually is what spurred the Florida Panthers and other Southern franchises. They saw how successful it was, and we have to thank Ray for being a part of that, because, it could have gone the other way. But you guys were able. I didn't know we had $99 season tickets. My God,
Right? I mean, today's inflation numbers probably wouldn't be that, but
Listen.
$99.
Right? Thank you, James. If you can't even go to any game you can't even go to a game for $99 of any sport, right? Not to mention an $18 beer, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'll do my $99 just in the beer by the third period, but it's. Yeah. Anyway, amazing story. Speaking of fighting, Ray was teaching us about the unwritten rules of hockey fighting, and I always thought there was some sort of rule. I thought it was like, when they hit the ground, they have to jump in, or when this happens, they have to jump in. But it's more of a respect thing. It's almost like the ref is also a ring ref as well, right, Ray?
No, it is. It's exactly that. And the other part to it is for players, because you wonder, like, how does a player know when he's supposed to fight? And
good question.
the coach will give you the tap on the shoulder.
Wait, what?
Yep.
Hold on. What?
All the secrets are
The
coming
coach
out.
taps you and is like, go get him?
If you're one of the enforcers, a protector, and you see there's a cheap shot on one of your superstars, and the coach is like, we need to stop that. We need to show them that we're not going to back down. Those
I had no
enforcers
idea.
get the tap on the shoulder, which means, the next time that guy's out there, you know what to do. They stay away from telling the player to go ahead and fight someone.
They just give him the nod.
Yep. Or if it's really bad, then, they'll just tell him, go ahead, you take care of
Go
him.
beat his butt right now. That's crazy.
Yeah.
So, but I assume, like, two guys get ready to duke it out. I mean, they kind of know that they're going to go, right? And then, I never see a guy back down. It's like, you don't see one guy be like, nah, I'm not going to fight you.
So if they're going to, the times when they're going to fight and talk about it is off of a face-off. If you see two guys in the face-off and you see them talking, then the sticks drop, gloves go, and they know, all right. But you know what, again, and I don't want anybody to think that we're all like encouraging that. It is part of the sport. It's been like that for years, but the enforcers, I mean, it is how they make their living. They're paid to protect. And that's their role. And sometimes you hit them hard, and sometimes you got to drop your gloves. But in the sport of hockey, it's not going to go away.
I tell you, anybody who has not gone to a Lightning game, if you've never been to an NHL game, I really strongly encourage you to go do it. It is absolutely worth the money. And to be honest, ever since I got my Lightning tickets, I hate to say it, Tampa, barely care about going to my Buccaneer games anymore. It's just not the same. Lightning is awesome. Hockey is awesome.
Agree. So fun.
Yes. So we've been talking about fighting. How about another industry that I know you fight hard in? Real estate. You have built something that so many people can look up to when it comes to real estate in Tampa Bay. Your name, your reputation. I know I'm taking the questions right out of your girls' mouths. I mean,
That's
go
okay. I
ahead.
figured that's how it would go today. I'm like, you didn't have a chance last time, so
No,
feel free.
Ray, how'd you do it? Like, how did you transition? Like, where was that line? Where was that day when it's like, I'm getting out of hockey and I'm going into real estate? And how'd you get where you are?
Yeah, so, I think a lot of lessons came from Phil when he was starting the team.
Right.
And I would hear the conversations with management and like, we need to pick the right players and the right players to do certain jobs. So as I transitioned into real estate, I always thought, like, okay, if I'm going to open up my own company, like, I want the right players doing the right jobs. And so picking the best staff I possibly could, the experts in each different field. We have a big believer, and Sunny knows exactly what I'm talking about when we say stay in your lane. But, I do think that my staff is phenomenal. And then it trickled down, because if you have fantastic staff, then you have the opportunity to bring in amazing agents. And, it really, it's not a sexy way of explaining it, but when you have great staff and you start to have some great agents, like, more agents want to join and they want to be part of that success. So it really is from the beginning. It's much easier for me today to add agents,
right?
Because I don't have to sell them. I don't have to push.
Hi, I'm Ray Mihara. They should know who you are.
Well,
Hopefully.
we try to do our thing out there in the on the streets, and we try to do it the right way. And we try to, of course, always try to represent our clients the best we can. We always want to try to be honest with them, and it helps us sleep good at night.
So I've got a couple quick business-related questions. This is the business happy hour, after all. Two questions. Answer them however. But I'm curious. How involved are you as the owner, right? And before you answer that, how many agents and staff do you have total on the team, roughly? Because I know it can change, but
so really, my phone is on, like, right up from 7 o'clock get up time until probably about 10 o'clock. I shut down.
Right.
At any time during those hours, and that includes weekends. If an agent needs me, if a client needs me, like, I'm answering my phone.
Got it.
Like, if a text comes through, I will respond. And very, very rare for a call or a text to come in where it goes to the next day, unless I just don't see it. It's that late at night. But I think it's important. I mean, we're in the service industry, and we're not talking about like shoes. We're talking about homes. Right. This is a big deal.
Right.
And I believe that we should be there for our agents, and I am, and I'm there for my staff and for whether it's clients or agents. Like, it's important to always be there.
So you found, and it's interesting because that's very similar to how I run my company, and it's a blessing and a curse, right? Because we want to be available, we want to be the face, we want to be the one to help them out and be there for us, but there's only one of us. So do you ever have to defer to a manager or anything to be able to take these calls, or have you just found no? I just want them to be comfortable and come to me, and I'm committed to this time.
I think there are the occasions where, because my staff is so darn good,
right,
where some of our agents will go to the staff with a question. But if the question comes to me, whether it's, again, a call, a voicemail, a text, an email, like, I want to be the guy to answer it. Like, I don't want to send this question off to the staff. Like, I want to answer it. And if I feel like I don't have the answer,
right,
then, I got two amazing, staff members that have a lot of years of experience in the title business. Mm-hmm. So I might get hit with a title question. Sure. And I'm like, gosh darn it, that's a good one. I don't know that answer. I'm not going to try to guess. I'm going to pass that question on to who I feel can give them the correct answer.
I was just going to say, we do have amazing staff, and I know all of our girls very well. I mean, for over 10 years now. So I know how busy Ray is. I know who to go to,
right?
With these questions. Like, all right, you know what? Steph is probably going to know the best answer for that. And Julia, we've got Joan for administrative tasks and forms.
Okay, so Ray doesn't have to take everything, but I love Ray's answer because that's exactly how I would have answered if somebody asked me. I said, if I get the question, I would like to answer it. I want to, but
I love that. That's what the agents love about Ray. He is available. He'll direct you. But I think once you get to know our staff and just all the strengths and all the different knowledge that they bring, it's nice to just have the options.
So the great business tip for everybody, for business owners, is it's great to have a wonderful support system and for your team to stay in your lane and to know who does what. But, I think Ray gave a wonderful answer that most of the successful business owners would tell you, especially the small businesses. I don't know if you call businesses with over 100 people small, but, medium size, whatever, is the more involved the owner is, the more they can control things, the better reputation, and the more it draws people to come and want to work for companies like this. So I commend you for that. I think that's absolutely amazing. How about, we got a couple minutes left. How about some stats? I'd love to get Ray's opinion on some stats. Here, you talk stats, and I'll put my camera on Ray.
There you go. Okay. Well, I'm glad I have Ray here. And I was just telling him, I'm like, I hate that we don't get our official numbers that I normally use until the following month, so I don't have my July numbers yet. But I did just pull, from the MLS, very basic things just to see a jump from June to July. I did Hillsborough and Pinellas. And I would say it in French because I think everything in French sounds lovely. I actually, we've been talking about sales volume, and it was a little bit slower, but for Hillsborough, actually saw a little bit of a jump in sold volume.
Okay.
Meaning just the units sold. But the median price took just a little bit of a dip.
Okay.
And then
median sales price
in
Hillsborough.
In Hillsborough.
Okay.
But I'd like to do the official numbers when those come out. So who knows,
agree.
all the different parameters or whatnot. And same thing in Pinellas.
Same thing in Pinellas. A slight
just
dip.
a little bit. But I love having Ray here because he and I were just talking, starting in August. I feel like we just got a little bit of a spur and we're busy. So I'm excited to see August numbers.
So by what, next week or so, maybe week after, we'll have our Julys.
Yep.
Right. But I agree with you, Cynthia. It's August.
I want to see the August
numbers. So guys,
numbers.
that means you got to listen to us in September because we're going to find out these August numbers. But I think we're going to see some major impact. I think it's going to be a big difference. Yeah. I'm very interested to see July. How about inventory? I use your stats so many times. I did it in my Lunch and Learn last week. I'm doing it in my Lunch and Learn tomorrow, where you taught me that we had a 3.3 month supply and a normal market is 6 months. All these agents in the room are like, this guy knows more than me. I'm like, you should listen to Cynthia. Anyway,
those are still upticking a little bit, but no, Ray, we talked with the other agents, he felt that from our other agents too.
Right.
So the last couple of weeks, right, you were saying it just all of a sudden got a little busier. Buyers
did.
got, off the sidelines a bit. Rosa and I put together a couple deals.
We're going to take a break on that note. As soon as we get back, we're going to find out some tips and tricks in the real estate industry from yours truly and Ray Mihara. Stay tuned. Instagram will be back in a second here.
I wanted to ask you guys, both of you, as business owners, when we go back on, but talk to you about how that works at home and do you set those expectations for your family or how do you deal with that?
Go. Yeah, ask that question. Matter of fact, my wife is watching right now. Hi, honey. So Rosa's going to put me on the spot in just a minute. I almost asked Ray that question because that was going through my mind in there. And I'm like, maybe I won't open that door.
I have an idea for a show. We should have your wife and your wife come in and tell us how they deal.
Would that go good or bad for us? I'm not sure. We'll find. We're going to do what's called reading his face. So does Nicole. Very much. Yeah, very much so. Well, the thing is, we are not quiet in here. So and this one, talking about jumping out of the shell, huh? Woo, from the beginning. Yeah. Good point. Yeah. So one time I had her come and I didn't tell her that she was going to be on the show and the guest didn't show up and she thought she was going to sit on the couch in the thing. And I'm like, oh, you're coming on. She's like, what do you mean? And then James was there or something and they're like, no, you got to go. And then she did it. It was awesome. Anyway, hon, love you. All right, we're ready. Let's rock. Rosa, I'll defer to you on that.
Now we're back with some serious real estate and business talk with three of Tampa Bay's top experts. Your host of the Business Happy Hour, Frank the Bank Cotto, Rosa Vahidi, and Senia Akishna.
All right, Tampa Bay, welcome back to the Business Happy Hour. This is our last segment. You guys have listened to the whole show. It's been amazing. We went from hockey to real estate to statistics. We might even talk about some business advice here coming up in just a second with some tough questions for Ray and I. But before that, Senia, I love your stats. You, believe it or not, I use them every week. When when I go and meet people, I just regurgitate the great information that you give me. So you taught me about a real, what do you call it? A balanced market is 6 months of supply, 6 months of inventory. We're around 3.3. So we talk about that when we talk supply and demand and what could happen in the real estate market if the rates go down. Please, God, things like that. Ray, real quick before Rosa hits us with these tough questions, what just kind of in general?
Well, I want your stats because you know what, we haven't done it in a minute. So,
please, go with Ray's stat. Put Ray on the spot.
Where are we at with our office numbers?
Okay, so we're sitting right at about 250 million between closed volume and our pending deals. Really, that's probably off by about 10%.
Okay.
For a normal year for us. However, now here's the big one. For all of you saying, all right, I want to know what's going to happen with the market. And I'm telling you now, yes, you know what? It's going to feel slow through this fourth quarter. It's because we've been so conditioned for everything to sell in 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and now it's taking 3 months.
Right.
So we feel like things are out of sort, like, oh my gosh. We're going to continue on this path, probably carry us right through to the end of the year. But for those of you buyers who want to get a deal, you want the best of both worlds, and I get it. You want the low price and you want the good interest rate. You better get ready because come 25, the deals are going to be there, the interest rates are going to be there, and you don't want to settle for just any home. You want the perfect home. So you've got it all right here. You've got Frank to help you out with the loan, Lincoln Lending. You got Senia and Rosa that will find you the perfect home. Don't settle because now you get the best of everything, the right home, the right price, and the right rate. Get ready. It's coming.
I love that. That is we say that a lot, don't we? It's get off the fence.
We're encouraging buyers right now.
We are.
Because you have, Ray was saying, that things are sitting on the market a little bit longer.
Yeah.
So that just allows more options and more opportunity to take your time to find the right home for you.
And the key is you don't have so many buyers competing with you right now. But as soon as the Fed goes out and lowers these rates and everybody hears it, you may have this influx. And what I just said in my seminar the other day was, I got your stat, 3.3 months, right? All of a sudden you have a run of buyers. You don't have the inventory. Supply and demand says that could push prices up. So we have
and bidding wars. I mean, that's what we'll push those up. And I don't know if we'll have time to talk about like the buyer agency changes because I wanted to get, Ray's thoughts on some of that.
Well, I tell you what, we will come back to that because that would be a good one. And next week we'll have some more great stats from Senia. Rosa, what was that weird question you had? Are you going to get us in trouble, Rosa?
All right, you too. So this is for Frank and Ray, who are very successful business owners. What is your advice to the younger entrepreneurs in navigating leaving your phones on until 10 o'clock at night when you have families or you're starting to have a family?
Can Ray do that one first?
Wow. Well, I will tell you that with our business, it does require us to be available all the time, and our clients need us and we need to be there. So I think as, for young men and women getting into this industry and deciding on when it's time to, start the family and have that life, I think picking a partner that understands that this business is that important to us. And in return, the trickling effect is if we do well, we're able to provide for them and be there for them when they need us. And we're on call for them as well. But I do think that if you are, you're at that point where you're trying to decide about, say, getting married, or is this the one? It's only fair for them to understand what they're getting into, because it's just going to save you from having those tough conversations down the road. I'm very fortunate that my wife lets me answer my phone even at the dinner table. Like, she knows it's that important to me. And she lets me do it. And, Frank, I'll let you answer next. All you do.
The funniest part about this is one of I don't normally notice when Nicole watches the show that often. And I did see her on here, and I think she's still watching now. So I'm going to be very careful about how I answer this. Yeah, I 1,000% agree with you. But there is no question. I also, my encouragement to them is work-life balance. That you do have to, shut down sometimes. I pretty much my whole career did exactly what Ray said. And my favorite line is, I'll be standing in the line at Disney World with the kids, and some people say, well, you're not present. Maybe like, well, we're buying presents. I don't know. I didn't really say that. It's terrible. But anyway, it's hard. And it kind of goes to one of the questions that I kind of asked you a little earlier, Ray, about staff. Because what I've found is your remark about team is huge, because if you have the right team and the team's ready to back you up and you can work out the times and what you're doing with the team, then you should be able to solve both problems. But I'm very much like Ray. I like taking the call. I like doing the answer myself, and who better to pick up the call and sell the client than the owner, and it helps us as well. So it's a tough one to navigate.
Well, I want to add to it for Ray, because I know Ray, I know his family, and you know what? He's not going to say it about himself, but he does a great job balancing.
Oh, I know he does.
As much as he's always available and answers his phone, you know what? Sometimes that's in the car line.
Right.
Because he'll, drop off his daughter, pick her up from school. I got to, drive here, and even if he's on vacation. But, he still makes time to do all those important things.
Well, I think that's part of the trade, which I think is a great trade. And I've made that comment to my family as before, is I'm one of the only dads who is at all. Actually, our kids go to school together. My daughter still does at Carroll Day School. I'm one of the only dads that shows up at all the freaking events when all the moms are there and the donuts and this and this. And I'm like, hey, I'm the dad. You know what I mean? So because of our type of business, we can kind of be at places that other parents can't necessarily. So trade-off, right?
Absolutely. I have another question too, though.
And we got a minute. Rock and roll.
All right. So I love both of your responses, and they're kind of a little bit different in a way, but I'm curious. So did you meet your wives before you started your business or while you were in business already?
Nicole and I are high school sweethearts, so I had no chance to have that conversation ahead of time. But Ray, how about you?
No, I was into the real estate world for about 17 years. And, but I was not a broker. I was an agent. So I think the number of the responsibilities, it wasn't like it is today.
Mm-hmm. Totally agreed.
Yeah. So I think it was, maybe easier to balance those in the past, but now I'm all in.
All in.
So guys, this has been an awesome show. I know it went super fast. We didn't get a whole lot of the real estate, but I think we got to learn about Ray and who the man is. And Mihara, go Ray.
Listen, Frank, you weren't here. But the way this show ends,
Yes.
I get to say,
Go.
it's a wrap.
It's a wrap. And that's
It's a
it.
wrap.
Actually, I think he did that literally in the last 3 seconds. That was awesome.
Perfect.
Woo! Thank you, James. I hear you're clapping in the background. Thank you, everybody. Thank you for you guys for tuning in. I love it. Somebody messages on there and says Frank shows up for Lincoln and gives a high five. Thank you, everybody, for doing that.
Thank
George,
y'all for
thank you.
watching.
Thank you, everybody, for watching. Like and share, and we'll see you next week, everybody. Leave. Man, that was awesome. I wasn't even thinking we were going to talk lightning.
Yeah,
I
I'll
think
tell you the stories, though.
Yeah.
It's,
I think to me, like that type of shit humanizes us so much more on the radio. I think we get more business when people hear that kind of thing than just being like, oh, it's another guy talking about real estate.
And how cool that you were in the beginning of it too.
Yeah, like the very beginning.
That's
Like, and then
impressive.
you did, and I didn't want to like go into everything, but I know you did all the sales for them for a long time, and like, dude, and I really wanted to ask a question, and I forgot. How long were you with them before you started into real estate?
So I was with the Lightning for 3 years.
Yep.
My dad was not doing well, went back to Buffalo. When my dad had just passed, I ended up going to Rhode Island, back when I went to college, and thought I'd give it a go with, my girlfriend taking over the family business,
Yeah.
appliances. So I'm